I tell you what, Mr. Bumble, return his lady. We don't want any of your Tuesday Night Live. About to go live very shortly. Cameras 1, 2, and 3 on standby. Opening titles ready to go. 5, 4, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to their lounge room, Zoom room, live across Australia, Rob Pearson and Scott Radburn.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you. Oh, you're too kind. You're
We paid you well. Thanks for that applause.
We trained you well. That lovely audience from the 50s. Oh, we love them. G'day, ladies and gentlemen. Or should I say good evening? It is Tuesday Night Live. We are here. Hello, young Scott Radburn. How the hell are you?
It's great to see you there, Robbie.
Hey.
And how's your week been anyway?
Mate, my week has been fantastic. Well, as good as it can. Sorry, when I mean fantastic, I mean as good as it can be under the present conditions. And of course, things changed on Sunday. Obviously, as I'm a Melbourneite, things have changed dramatically, and obviously it was done for a very, very, very good reason, because we want to get this thing under control, and we want this awful pandemic ended and finished.
Yeah.
I think everyone's had enough, but we've got to stop it, and this is the next step. We have to do it.
That's right. And if people don't realise, but I'm in Wollongong. I may have the Sydney Harbour Bridge behind me, but I'm in Wollongong. We'll say g'day to Joe in a minute, but our butcher, he's in Canberra, and Rob is in Melbourne. And Rob, I got to say condolences, mate, and commiserations, because you only got married in November. Probably this is a good thing, because you're going to really get to know each other. Because he's spending all this time really in lockdown, and I say lockdown, but Robbie, I've got to say that since Sunday, mate, you're stuck there in your apartment. You're not allowed out. The two of you can't go out together. You can only go out for an hour each day to do some exercise and go down to the supermarket to get food. And everywhere you got to go, and you've got to wear a mask. And I've got to say to everybody in Melbourne, and I should say the rest of Australia, please do the right thing. I went online today and ordered masks, even though for my wife and I, even though they aren't mandatory in Australia. From Monday, they're going to talk about Woolworths want you to wear a mask, but we don't have to. But in Melbourne, you've got to wear a mask. So please do the right thing, because remember, we're all part of a huge humanitarian family. We want to keep the world alive.
Absolutely, Scott. Well said. Well said. Look, it's well, the good is that I've, as you said, I was married last November, but I've managed to piss off my wife already. So this is before the COVID, so she knows what to expect, which is it was. I didn't realise how easy it was to upset your wife. But anyway, no, mate. It's look. It's all something we've all got to do it down here, and the people that I've spoken to are being I shouldn't use the word positive, but they're all like, rallying together, kind of thing. It's very surreal, I must say. I mean, like we all knew that this thing was coming. We heard about it, and it's here. But now that we've gone to stage 4, and we're in lockdown here, it's got even more real kind of thing, and obviously we've got to stop this terrible pandemic in its tracks anyway. But look, enough of that. We've spoken about the pet, and thanks for your words, kind words, Scotty. That's very kind. But ladies and gentlemen, We do have an amazing show for you tonight. Now, Scott, we have a good buddy, Mr. the Button Pusher in Canberra. Hello, Canberra. Are you there?
Hey, I'm here. And I just wanted to say something. I think that you're in the best position because if you remember the war, they had brownouts. Now, brownouts were actually responsible for babies. Could we possibly hear the pitter-patter of babies in 9 months' time?
Well, let me just tell you right now, the pitter-patter that we have around here is we have 2 cats. So it's pitter-patter, patter-pitter. So, no. Yeah, so how are you, Joe? Are you well?
I'm really well. It's freezing up here in Canberra as normal. I think I woke up to a 3-degree morning or a -3, something like that. It's always cold up here. I don't know why you sent me to Canberra because it's just freezing.
We thought we needed a great representative, so we chose you. I think
Well,
I'm gonna have that
guys.
one.
Well, guys, I'm going to leave you to it because I know that you've got a fantastic show coming up tonight. But just remember, it's Lord Joseph from Canberra.
Thank you, Joe. We'll talk to you soon. Well, Scotty, you know what, mate? We better get on with this show.
I can't wait for it. We've got 3 fantastic guests, and we won't talk about them. We'll just bring them up as the night goes on.
That's true. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after this brief message.
I'm Ken Silverstone, and this is Fox News. First up, the hide-and-go-seek championships were cancelled today after a fight broke out when a competitor was accused of cheating. In other news, local celebrity Doris the Chicken, who has been crossing the road to get to the other side, has finally decided to call it a day. Locals watched on as Doris did her final walk across. When asked why she was retiring, she replied, "Riveting." And now for all you folks heading home, here is your Eye in the Sky reporter, Ethan Hawke, with the latest traffic update. Over to you, Ethan. Yes, thank you, Ken. As you can see down below, the traffic seems to be moving very freely in both directions. There seems to be a lot more heavier vehicles going to the north than there are on the south. A few vehicles have gone the wrong way, but nobody seems to mind. All in all, a lovely drive home. Thank you. Back to you, Ken. And finally, in entertainment news, the Flamingo Irish dance troupe have started putting the finishing touches to their version of Riverdance. I'm Ken Silverstone, and you've been watching Fox News.
Everybody, and thank you and welcome to Tuesday Night Live. Well, Scotty, what can we say about this next bloke? Not a lot. Not a lot at all.
Not a lot. No, but he's. I'm just really jealous because he's such a young guy who's doing such great things, and he's got a huge future. And we're going to talk about it because he's got a single coming up, hasn't he?
He certainly has. I've heard the song. It's incredible. It's really, really catchy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's not many people that don't know who Nathan Foley is. He's been on High Five, and there he is. Oh, no.
Give us a high
Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Foley. Oh, jeez. Hello, mate.
I heard my name and I thought, that's my cue. So, you know.
Oh, sorry, no, that's all right, mate.
You never want to be late for stage. You know what that's like, Rob. Come on.
Of course, absolutely. Mate, I got to say, you had just to come back from a holiday in the Blue Mountains. Is that right?
I did, yeah. It was a two-year wedding anniversary with my missus. So we went away with my little bloke. I've got a little baby now.
Jackson?
It took me a while. Yeah, little Jackson. So it's taken me a while. But I've got my own little family now, which is fantastic. And obviously it's been great at the same time. I mean, bad and good at the same time because of the whole COVID thing, being stuck at home and left in isolation. But I guess in a good way, I get to see my little bloke grow and spend some time.
Absolutely,
with
mate.
Yeah.
So what's it like? What's it like with fatherhood? What's fatherhood like for you, mate?
Well, it was really enjoyable at the beginning. You know, the beginning of the 9 months was really good, and then.
No, I got it.
Wake up. But no, it's been amazing. Like, it's definitely life changing for me. Obviously, I'll be 41 next month. So it's kind of one of those things that took me a while to get in the niche of having my own little family, because you know what it's like as an entertainer. We're always traveling, we're always doing stuff. So it's really hard to be on solid ground, being your own house sometimes.
Of course, but I guess as you said, being an entertainer, a positive out of this is the fact that you're getting to spend time with your son and time with your family. You know, I think that's, from that point of view, it's fantastic. You're actually there seeing him on his first steps and all that sort of thing.
Oh, absolutely. It's just incredible. Like, it's definitely a new chapter in my life. I mean, I feel like, because I started pretty young. I think I was 10 years old when I started singing professionally. So what's that, going on 30 odd years now. So I don't think that I've actually slowed down, but I think this whole COVID thing has actually made all of us in some form of capacity sort of slow down, take a breath, you know, just take in our own surroundings, our own families, and our own sort of, you know, the simplicity of our lives, because we don't have a simple life. You know, we're always away and doing stuff. We're always on the go. Yeah. So I'm really, I think it's, you know, even though it's been a curse for a lot of people, this COVID thing, it's been a blessing in a way at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Nathan, just talking about your great little guy, and his name is Jackson Joel. Now, I remember seeing, I don't know whether there's an inspiration there for the name, but I remember watching you, I think it was on Kerry Ann Kennelly's show, or one of the shows on Channel 9, where you came out and you performed. And while you're performing, and you sing great, mate, but you were doing a few Jackson moves while you were out there. Now, is there an inspiration there between the name Jackson Joel?
Well, my middle name's Joel, so that's how we got his middle name. But Jackson, definitely. I mean, I grew up, you know, the main reason why I became a singer. I mean, my parents split when I was very, very young. Split up when I was very young, so I used to go and see my dad every second weekend. And he went into this old antique shop, and I discovered these vinyl records when I was 5, and one of them was the Jackson 5. So that was kind of the very first voice that I heard, little Michael Jackson. So I mean, it's not only just that, but I've always loved the name. But yeah, part and parcel, I think that group is the group that actually kickstarted my career, wanting me to be an entertainer. So I think it has got a little bit of a meaning, you know, something meaningful behind the name.
Well, actually, yeah, I bet you're kicking yourself now at 5 years old. You wish you hadn't scribbled all over the cover.
I know. Did I tell you that? Oh my God, yeah. I've got the old original.
Just been doing a bit of research.
G'day everybody, how are you? Scotty Radburn here, and tonight, are you in for a treat? I'm in for a treat. Tonight, our special guest that's coming around, he's in the bathroom right now having a shower at our place. He's just arrived from Greece and he's been in quarantine for 2 weeks. And I said, I'm going to cook for him. And he said, no. He said, I'm going to cook for you and Cheryl. So anyway, he grabbed one of my favourite cookbooks, a friend of ours, celebrity chef, Lindy Milan. He's going to cook 2 dishes from this book. And I'll give you an idea who he might be. Beautiful, doesn't matter, gentlemen. Doesn't matter, couple of days. So anyway, he's going to be using these different ingredients, and the things that he will be cooking is souvlakia with skadalia. And skadalia is made out of sourdough bread with a whole lot of different ingredients, which we'll go through. We'll be putting in there pita bread. We've got extra virgin olive oil. We've got red wine vinegar. We've got olives, salt and pepper. As you can see, all these different things here. And we'll be also doing a Greek traditional village salad. And it's called horiatiki salata. That's the way. I think that's right, salata. So anyway, stand by. I can't wait. He'll be with you really, really soon. Cheers. See you soon.
I know you've told this story a million times, but when you were 18, when 18, that's when the whole high five thing started around that age?
Yeah, it was a weird time actually, because I think I was a year out of high school and I was just looking for a job. And funnily enough, the audition for that show came up, but there was another audition that I went to. So I actually got 2 jobs at the same time. Not many people know this, but I actually got into I actually got into Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, which is going to be touring overseas, playing I think it was the part of Usher or something.
Yeah.
So I actually got into that musical, but at the same time I got into the TV. So I had to weigh it up and thought, okay, TV, music theatre. And obviously we know music theatre only lasts for a certain amount of shows. And I thought maybe this TV thing will go a bit longer. So I chose that, got into High Five when I was 18. But about a month into High Five contract, I got a call from the Jacobsons. They asked me if I wanted to support Shania Twain. And I was at that time, I think I was turning 18 at the time, and I couldn't do it because I signed contracts for High Five. So if it doesn't rain, it bloody pours. I got to tell you the truth. Sometimes there's weeks of nothing, and then all of a sudden you get everything offered in the space of 2 weeks. You go, But look, 18, mate, and obviously 10 years of that, and I'm very grateful to be on, have the TV contract for 10 years. But we've got to be grateful for everything in this industry, because
absolutely.
Look, Nathan, talking about High Five, I know recently that you were a support act to the Wiggles when they got back together for they were doing a fundraiser for the fire, for everybody that supported the fire. And you were the support act, and it was the night that the original Greg Page collapsed on stage.
Yeah.
Now, tell us about that, and more importantly, I know that the next day you put it out there, you put a picture out there on social media, and it went nuts about talking about High Five, and there might have been a reunion or a get-together, and you had television stations and radio stations ringing you. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, I was there the night Greg fell over, but I wasn't there when it happened because I left. I did my spot, and because it was just a variety show that we put together for the Fireys. Anthony called me up and said, "Hey, would you do this?" And he said, "You can't do covers, and you can't do High Five songs. You can't do anything." I'm like, "Okay, I'll do originals then." So I went out and I did my originals, and after that, because Jackson was very young at that stage, I think he was like a week or two 2 weeks old. So I just wanted to get home. So I think I left before the Wiggles went on stage. So I got home, and all of a sudden there was all these news breaks came up about Greg collapsing, and I was there, but I wasn't. So I had no information, so I didn't get to see that. But that was the second night actually. So it was 2 nights. We did 2 nights at the club there, but that was the second night. But the first night, going back to your question, I went home and had a couple of whiskeys, and I decided to write something stupid on Instagram. So I posted up an old photo of the group and said, "Would anybody ever be interested in coming to an adults only High Five concert if it ever happened?" And it was just a stupid thing, but honestly, I got inundated the next day, and I regret it because I just never bloody stops. I keep getting asked every day from fans, "Are you going to do a reunion concert? I'll come along." And obviously, the fans now they're in their 20s. So they're coming along. They want to just go out there and party hard, and dance and drink and party, and it'd be definitely an interesting concert. But I just honestly, I never did, and I don't own the rights to the show. It's owned by some company.
They're Malaysian based, aren't they? The owners are Malaysian based.
That's correct. The show is, as soon as I left, the show was totally different. After that, it was taken over by a different production company, and the creator doesn't have anything to do with the show anymore. So it's a totally different concept. It just went.
So where was your finale? The final concert, the final High Five for you?
Boy, I think it was at the stadium in Sydney.
Okay.
At the Olympic Stadium. So we did the big. I think it was like a 4,000 or 5,000 seater. We had a venue there, and we did 3 shows because we were touring 7 months of the year. We're doing 3 1.5 hour shows a day, 6 days a week.
But Nathan,
Jeepers.
Yeah.
Nathan, you've moved on from that, and that's a great part of your history. And the great thing is you give entertainment to the masses, and you've been working, you have been, but now you've got the little fella now. You're staying more in Australia, but you've moved on and you became Princess Cruises Entertainer of the Year.
Yeah, that was a crazy thing. I had no idea what that was. I mean, I was just out there to do my shows, and obviously I have a passion for what I do. It's never ever been about recognition for me. I just wanted to go out there and perform and obviously move people in different ways with music. And I always wanted to just go and cruise over in the States. And I begged my agent every day, can you send me there, send me there, send me there? And they said, well, they don't really do that. They kind of just go with their locals a lot of the time. Anyway, after 3 years of asking, I never gave up. They said, okay, we'll give you a 6-week trip over in Alaska. And this was going back, 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, they said, we'll give you a trial because you're getting good ratings on Princess around Australia. They said it's obviously because of your TV background and stuff like that. I was like, okay. So they sent me over and did my shows, and that was it. Then the nomination came up. So it was all pretty fast. But at that time, I think I was working the ships for about 7 years already, 6 or 7 years already. So I just didn't step into it. But obviously that was a great accolade. I got to go over the States and perform to a lot of the American audiences and the British audiences as well after that. But at the end of the day, I kind of, same thing. It is a passion for me, and accolades will come and go. But at the end of the day, the time that an audience member stands up and walks out of a show and they don't like it, that's when it's a problem. You know what I mean? I think the audience is the most important.
Well, every show I've been to that I've seen you perform, mate, the audience loves you and they're on their feet. I mean, I always like to sit at least 4 rows back or further because you work so freaking hard on stage, mate. The sweat dripping off you, and when you're doing like this, there's a particular spin you do, and it's like a sprinkler, and I have to sit back because the sweat is flying. It's
Damn it,
flying off you.
I missed you.
I know, mate. I know. Yeah, mate. The question for you. What was your new album Hurricane?
Yeah.
Now, were you writing? Now, when you did the voice. Now, were you in the process of writing the album then, or did the album come after?
It came after, and funnily enough, it's been a crazy time the last even 8 months of my life.
Yeah.
Or even a year. After The Voice, because The Voice really, to me, I mean, this is not putting any reality TV shows, but the Voice and reality shows don't really do a lot for people. They give you that sort of 1 week of fame after the show finishes, but it's up to yourself to go out there and pursue and try and knock down doors and do that kind of thing, you know. So the reason why I did The Voice, and they contacted me for about 3 years before to go and do that, and I was down at I think I was down at Bunnings, and this girl came up to me and she says, "Oh, Nathan," she says, "I thought you were dead." I'm like, "What?" So, what do you mean I'm dead?
Well, that
She
sounds
says,
nice.
"Oh, I haven't seen you do any TV stuff since 2008 from High Five stuff." So no, I said, "I haven't stopped. I've been cruising. I've been doing corporates, doing clubs, and do as much as I can." She says, "Oh, okay," and I was like, maybe this is a time for me to get out there and get onto The Voice and obviously show people that I am still alive and breathing. So I did that.
What a bizarre thing to say to someone.
I know. So I went in with the attitude to get out there and just get a bit of publicity, to be honest, get my face out there again and just to showcase to people out there who, the fans that were 5 back in, the late 90s are now in their 20s. So the good thing and the best thing I got out of that was just bringing the fans along with me for this new album and single. But I started writing because I've got a new manager now and production team behind me that are trying to help me out and push me, with the finances and stuff like that. So they said, "Well, have you got any originals?" I'm like, "Well, I do, but I haven't written anything for like 8 years." They said, "Well, get onto it, get some songs out there." And obviously what you write back 20 years ago, even 10 or even 5 years ago, changes as you grow as an entertainer and as a human, really. Got a little boy now and all this stuff. So I went, you know what? I've got a lot to write about. My style has always been sort of like the jazz, soul, pop, rock kind of vibe, but I've just sort of thought I'd just start writing a bit more rocky, poppy kind of songs, and just drawing that inspiration from a lot of the Australian artists. The Noise Works and In Excess and all those guys, John Farnham. So
yeah. So the actual song "She Devil," I like the rhythm. So it was kind of like. I heard you in an interview saying that it was inspired. The 80s and 90s was what the inspiration for. Was it for the album or for that particular song?
Well, the album is kind of similar kind of genre, but it's obviously a mix of ballads and pop rock tunes and a bit of pop and soul songs through there as well. But I miss what I used to listen to on radio back 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I mean, I listen, I'm probably sounding old when it comes to radio music, but when I'm listening to the songs now, they all sound the bloody same to me. They don't sound like it's anything different. Like
Totally,
back in the day,
totally agree.
back in the day, you could say that's Stevie Wonder, that's Billy Joel, that's Elton John. Oh, that's Fleetwood Mac, that's this. You knew who they were because of their style. Nowadays, they're like, who's that? That sounds like, you know, Chris Brown or Usher. They all sound the same to me these days, you know. And I wanted to write an album that's got a bit of variety, but also has that reminiscing on the songs that had a bit of passion behind it and something that was different. And I just, you can't go past a live drama, live guitar, and a catchy melody. You really can't. And
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what I had in the back of my head.
Yeah.
When listening to She Devil, and it's a great song, mate. Congratulations. And I know that you did it in the prestigious studios of Neil Finn down in New Zealand.
Yeah, Roundhead Studios. I actually recorded the band there and then went down to Studio Box Creative, which is my production team, and did the vocals down in their studio in Nelson. But Neil Finn's studio was absolutely phenomenal. It was just, incredible. He lives upstairs, apparently. I never got to see him, but he lives upstairs. And I was really happy with the result.
Well, that's you didn't see him because it was a crowded house. You couldn't get in, you see.
Oh, you were fixing your splens.
Jeez.
Oh, he might have been out. You know, we always said he better be home soon, though. You know.
Okay, we can stop now, please. Listen, actually, I'm going to ask you. I understand that you're somebody's your pet. Was it your mum and dad's treadmill was used in a. Tell us the story about the treadmill in the video clip.
It was around the time we couldn't go anywhere. But my parents drove this treadmill up because obviously the guys that were putting the video clip together asked me if I had a treadmill, and I said no, I don't have a treadmill in my house, you know. So they said, well, you need to clear a room in your house, make sure it's a white wall, and if you have a treadmill, that'll be fantastic. So my parents sneakily drove the treadmill up to the Central Coast from the western suburbs, dropped it off at my house, and I used it. And I did all my first video clip, I did all in isolation in the back of my room with my DSLR camera, with a panel of people watching from New Zealand to tell me what to do and where to go and what, you know, and all that sort of stuff. So I had to adjust my camera settings and everything. So I was kind of the cameraman, but I didn't get a bloody credit, did I? Nothing was in the credit about the cameraman.
Mate, listen, I got to say, thank you so damn much for coming on. I know you're a busy man. And
you're getting rid of me. I just started. What?
Hey.
That's what my wife says.
That's right. I was just thinking. Oh, that's right. Rob needs a glass of wine with him. We've got to keep talking here. Come on. Oh boy, no, it's been an absolute pleasure, guys. It's it's crazy times. It really is.
It certainly is, mate.
Yeah, but you know, you've got to make the best of a worse situation, and you know, the way I've been spending is obviously with the family and riding my butt off to get this album together, which I can't complete because I can't fly to New Zealand at the moment. So, but my next single should be released, which is going to be Hurricane, within the next month or so. So keep an eye out for that one. Yeah,
we certainly will. I mean, Scott and I have been keeping ourselves busy with obviously Tuesday Night Live, and it's been really enjoyable. And the funny, I was saying to one of our guests before, it's like I'm busier now than I was when I was getting paid to work.
All right.
So you know, from that point of view, but it's you've got to make best of a bad time, and you've got to try and get through, and we've all got to try and get through this together. And any way we can help each other, we do. You know, that's what you got to do. You know.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
Nathan, congratulations on your. You had a big birthday last year, and I was going to try to get to it, but I had to work, which I don't do these days because I can't because we've got no work. But it
That's
was
right.
at the Royal
my
Oak.
friends couldn't make it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
a lot of friends couldn't make it because they were bloody working. I was just like,
Yeah, Mary and Bobby Bradford are wonderful people there at the Royal Oak there in Sydney, aren't they?
Oh, they're amazing. I've always loved those guys. I always have time for them, and they're a barrel of laughs. And I had an amazing time last year. I can't believe it's almost a year. Crazy.
I know, mate. I know.
All right.
All right, mate. Listen, take care. And Nathan, again, thank you, mate. Really appreciate. We can't thank you enough for coming on. It's been
No, pleasure.
a pleasure, mate. It's just been joy. Please stay safe, obviously, and take care of your family. And we'll talk to you soon, mate.
Will do, guys. Thank you so much for your time, and stay in touch. Don't be strangers.
Oh,
All right.
always.
Give us an elbow.
Elbow.
There you go. Thanks, Nathan.
Beautiful. Doesn't matter. Couple of days. Anyway, my name's Con. It's beautiful being here in Australia, your country. Here with Scotland Cheryl at their house. I've been in quarantine for 2 weeks because I come from Greece to come for a holiday here to enjoy. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Beautiful. Anyway, tonight I'm cooking some food for my good friend Scott and Cheryl from Greece. We're going to do the Scodalia, and that's this one here. I just been putting it into the machine to make it all mix up like this. And then we got some fresh pork there. It's been marinating in some spices and different herbs and things. Lemon juice, olive oil, beautiful, doesn't matter. I will put that onto the skewer very soon and put it on the grill to cook. It's beautiful. And here I make the dressings, lemon juices and garlic and different herbs and spice. I make the traditional village Greek salad. It's beautiful. We put that there. I'll put that up there. That's what you call is the horiyaki salata. But anyway, what I was going to cook, which I am, but what I want to say is I want to sue Vlacky. I want to sue Vlacky. Vlacky doesn't know I'm going to sue him, but I'm going to sue him anyway because he owes me money. Because I needed the money for my family to feed them. There's Rula, Tola, Sola, Fola, and Agapin, of course, my little gentleman, and my beautiful wife, my husband, Marika. I can hear her now. Can you hear her? I'm not complying. I'm not complying. I fool you. That's not my wife, that's me. I'm doing an impersonation of her. In fact, I just conned you. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I'll be back for you real soon. I'm going to put these skewers on the grill now, and then I'll come back. I'm going to put the dressing on the salad and show you what I'm going to do next. And very soon, we make Scott and Cheryl happy when they eat the food. Bye-bye. Doesn't matter. Beautiful.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Scotty, now please tell everybody about this, our next guest. She is absolutely gorgeous.
She's more than gorgeous. She's one of the most talented girls that I've ever met. She's a triple threat in Australian theatre and across the globe. She can sing, she can dance, she can act, she can present. She's been on TV series and up for Logie Awards and all that sort of stuff. But let's just not say anything more. I can't wait to get her on and let's have a chat. Anastasia Feneri.
I have to say first, after Scott did that wonderful introduction, you do bloody everything. You do bloody everything. This is amazing.
Oh, thank you. I feel like, you know, like with this entertainment industry, you have to really dip your toe in all of the waters for an opportunity, you know, to be seen. And
Oh, totally. We were talking about it before we started. I've noticed that your studio. Show that if you wouldn't mind showing everybody your studio. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we go, my studio. I've just pushed the furniture away in my lounge room, basically, sort of thing. You know, lazy. I'm just lazy. Okay, this looks professional, but it's just a bloody grease. But now, have a look at Anastasia's actual studio. This is incredible. Look at this.
It's such a mess. So I've got soundproofing on the roof. I have where are they? My lights.
Wow.
My green screen. My piano and drums just behind the camera.
This is
It's
that's
really
amazing.
good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Nice to teach from as well. You know, during this pandemic, we had to go online from my studio as well.
Okay.
So it was easier to teach in a studio space than kind of in my room. With like my phone keyboard.
So when you say teach, so you're singing teacher?
Yeah. So just I guess we all need a day job, so that's mine, a drama and singing teacher.
Yes, we do. So how long have you been teaching singing?
Not too long now. Maybe 2 years.
Oh, fantastic! Oh, well, I know for a singing lesson I'll come to it. So you're based in Wollongong?
Come into this studio. I'll teach you.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, I'll hand it over to Scott first. Scott, what would you please?
Look, I knew from the very first time that we met and we were doing a musical together, and then we did another musical together, and you were sitting on my lap, and you pretended to be a puppet.
Yes.
And I've got my hand up your back, and we're both singing this crazy thing, and it was from Chicago.
Yeah.
It was called a song called "Reach for the Gun," but I knew from then, because what I love about you, Anastasia, is that you're a real role model for people that want to aspire to be in theatre. You're very level-headed, you're single-minded, that you treat everything so professionally. And I know for a fact that at the age of 2, that's when you knew when you wanted to be in theatre.
Yeah.
And that's right. You from the age of 2, and then it wasn't until years later that you went to see Wicked, and a person that you ended up rubbing shoulders with, working in a pantomime professionally, that person really did trigger that you wanted to be in musical theatre professionally, and that's Lucy Durack. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I was, like you said, I always was so drawn to theatre and arts and screen as well, just the whole performing arts world. I had such a passion for my entire life. And from the age of 2, as soon as I could speak or move or dance or anything. And I was blessed too with parents that would enroll me in classes that just helped for me to grow in that field. But yeah, because nobody else in my family was even in this industry. So yeah, it was a really new thing. Yeah.
Your dad,
yeah.
he was a cameraman on Win
TV. He was
TV,
a video editor, yeah. But performing wise, like on stage, I'm the only one. So yeah, I was really lucky to have been enrolled in those classes and really expand on those passions of mine. But yeah, with what you were talking about with Wicked was, I always loved musicals, and I watched a few growing up, but Wicked was the one for me that I want to say 12 years old. I was like, whoa, chills all over my body. Just, this is absolutely what I have to do. Nothing else. This is it. And the person I was watching in the musical as Glinda, one of the 2 leads, it was Gemma Ricks and Lucy Durack.
Yeah.
I ended up being in a production with last year as part of the main cast as well. So it was so incredible for my professional debut to have actually been with somebody who has inspired me so much throughout my career.
Wow.
And have you become good mates yourself and Lucy Durack?
Beautiful. Yes. Yeah. I was a bit nervous. You never know what these celebrity people are going to really be like. But my God, without a word of a lie, she is probably one of the most beautiful people I've ever met.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, so much success, but is so well and truly grounded. Yeah, it's really
wonderful. Now, acting chops. Now, where did the acting side of it come in? Because you were in on the ABC.
Yeah,
you
my
were
place.
you were 11 years old. Is that right? No.
Yeah, I was 10, 11 around that age. Yeah.
So how did that all come about then?
Funny story, actually. So, like I said, I was always very dramatic and very dramatically inclined, so doing all that stuff a lot. But I didn't have an agent or anything, and
That was a secret agent, was it?
a secret spy. And that spy came in the form of the Greek newspaper. So in the Greek newspaper, there was this ad saying, looking for Sydney locals, young actors who can speak Greek. See, in my place, it was about the development of Australia over the years. And in my segment, it was more about immigration. And I was one of the Greek families that had moved to Australia, and we see their stories. It's really beautifully done, my place. But yeah, so I saw the ad in the newspaper and I thought, what the hell, I'll go and do it. And it was cutthroat. There were so many people, and 5 callbacks later, that's a lot of callbacks.
It is.
Yeah. 5 callbacks later, I got the lead. And that was just such an amazing experience for me. And naturally, it pushed me forward to be seen by, Screen Australia, and that gave me a Logie nomination at like 10 years old.
Wow, congratulations! That's amazing.
And that was a prestigious nomination because he's a stalwart of Australian television, Graham Kennedy.
Yes.
So it was the Graham Kennedy Best New Talent Award, and the finalists, there was only 5. So people in Australia don't get into that group of 5, and you one of 5. To be in that is tremendous. So it says a lot about your acting talents and how you perform. Now, I do know the person, and you've got to tell everybody, and I understand for this person to win, everybody knows him. Who won that award?
Matt Preston from MasterChef won. That was the first year of MasterChef, and I loved MasterChef. I still do. So he, pardon me, he won that award, and again, you go up to the guy to congratulate him, and he's just this beautiful, warm, loving person, very different to the persona he portrays on MasterChef. He's very warm and loving, and was so proud of me for getting this far at so young. And yeah, I love that. I love when you meet these people who are accomplished, and the guy just won a Logie Award, and he's turning around to me and he's saying, I can't wait to see what you do. It's just lovely. And I love that nature of this arts community.
And what is he larger than life? Because
yes.
the thing that everybody in Australia knows, that he always loved wearing nice jackets with cravats.
Yes.
That's the funny thing. When Scott first mentioned the name, I went, the name sounds familiar. And he said, the guy who wears the cravats. And as soon as he said that, he went, I knew who it straight away. I knew who it was. I went, yes, I know him.
Yeah.
Hello, gentlemen. Beautiful. And to be politically correct, hello, beautiful ladies as well. Doesn't matter. Hey, look here. Look at that. It's looking beautiful. There it is. There's the pork skewers there. Looking lovely. And that's souvlaki. That's what I'm cooking now. And it will go down really a treat with the scodalia. And you'll see the scodalia later on. Almost finished. Beautiful.
So there was a question I was going to ask is, now you have a role, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, is that right?
Yes, yeah. So that's with Bonnie Lithgow Productions as well. And that was going to be July, but naturally with the whole COVID situation,
Sure.
They push it forward to next July.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so that's going to be at the Sydney Coliseum Theatre.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's just a short season, but very much looking forward to that. So it's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and I'm Snow White. Yeah,
Of course.
really,
Of course.
just my favorite thing. It's very exciting.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So Rhonda Birchmore, who I saw was also on your talk show here last week.
Yes. Oh, gosh, I tell you what, that Rhonda Birchmore, isn't she? I mean, the woman she's gorgeous.
Oh.
Like, never changes, and it's just a head with beautiful legs.
Legs?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Look, yeah, Anastasia, I had a chat to you about this, but I know that you love Lucy Durack, but I tell you what, I guarantee you're going to have a friend for life with Rhonda.
Yeah, I've not met her yet, but I'm really looking forward to it.
She's an absolute treasure of Australian theatre. And people that don't know the credibility of Bonnie Lithgow is that this is a really big thing that you've got the lead in, Anastasia. And I just want to let people know that Bonnie Lithgow and her previous husband, one of the most successful franchises in the world for entertainment on international TV, a show called So You Think You Can Dance. It's right around the world. And they created it and produced it. And now Anastasia has been asked by Bonnie Lithgow to be the lead of her show. That is incredible.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Fantastic.
Yeah. It's so exciting. I can't wait to...
Now, Anastasia, I was really excited when you told me that you were getting this role, that you auditioned and you went to, you got the role to be in a children's show in a place of all places, Macau. Which Macau, if people don't know, it's 1 hour by ferry out of Hong Kong. And it's an amazing island. It's what I would call, it never sleeps. Millions of people go there for entertainment, and it's what I would call Las Vegas on steroids.
Oh, yeah.
So they've got the Venetian casino there that's a carbon copy of the one in Las Vegas, but it's 5 times the size. So look, tell us about your role and experience there. That must have been mind-blowing.
Oh, it was. When I got off the plane, I was just gobsmacked at the size of the place and the technology, that all of the buildings were lighting up and having picture shows, and it was just insane, unlike anything I've ever seen. So Macau itself, being like a casino city, is always booming, and like you said, never sleeps, which is hard when you're working every day. Now, I was in the kids' show, The Little Big Club, which was just adorable. We had Barney, Thomas the Tank Engine, Angelina Ballerina, all of my childhood heroes, Postman Pat, Fireman Sam. Pingle was in it for a bit too. Yeah, a lot of fun. So yeah, that was over in Macau, and I was the host of that show. I didn't have to speak too much Mandarin, thank goodness.
I was just going to say, that'd be great.
I speak Orange, but I also speak Wagga and Unanderra. It's a dad joke.
But yeah, no, Macau was really an incredible experience, and I was pretty much fresh out of high school. So to be thrown out there, you realize you become streetwise very quickly as well. But yeah, performing wise, it was very fun. And I also got to perform through the different hotels on the Katai Strip. So I lived in the Parisian Hotel. My front view was the Eiffel Tower. And then I would perform through Venetian, like you said. Yeah, it's just gorgeous there, and Four Seasons, all of that. So yeah, it did present a lot of great performing opportunities for me as well there.
Now, I've got a question for you. Think hard on this one. If you were invited to a dinner party for 4 people, you're one of them.
Ooh.
Who would you love to have as the other 3 guests at the dinner party, and why?
Wow. Oh my goodness. There are so many people that come to mind from all walks of life. But if we're just thinking music theatre world, I think Sierra would be one of them. I mean, like you said, she is a world-class performer. And on that concert, I actually, I was part of the group that toured with her. I didn't perform, but I was with the group that went with her from Sydney to Brisbane. So in that, I got to see a lot about her, and yeah, that was really cool. So maybe she would be one of them. I think Cynthia Erivo, she's a musical theatre performer as well, best known for her performance in The Color Purple.
That's fantastic.
Oh my God, she is insane. She's one of those performers who've completely mastered the art of just holding the audience in the palm of their hand. And every time I watch her performance of I'm Here, you should check it out, I'm just in tears. She's just, oh my God, an insane performer. And so that's two. One more. There's so many good ones.
Don't tell me Hannibal Lecter, because if you're going, Anastasia, come closer to the glass, Clarice. Would you like some lima beans and Chianti?
I'm a little offended that she hasn't mentioned either you or I yet.
Oh no!
So no, it's too bloody late, woman. Too late.
Not if I merge you two. I'll merge you two and you're my last person.
He can sit on my lap. That'll be fine.
I just sat on his lap in Chicago. You can do it too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like a puppet.
Anastasia, listen, thank you so much for coming on. You are absolutely beautiful. Now, Scott, I mentioned that Anna's going to be singing for us later. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. And what's the song you're going to be singing for us, Anastasia?
It is a jazzy version of Britney Spears' Oops, I Did It Again.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, great. I can't wait. I'll just sit back and watch and eat a few things and just enjoy your performance.
Yes, thank you. Oh, thank you so much for having me on the show, you guys.
Oh, you are a joy. Listen, I tell you what, we would love to have you back on again. You were so lovely. It was a joy. It was a joy.
Thank you, guys.
Can't wait to follow your career, Anastasia, and I'm very proud to call you a friend.
Oh, thank you. Likewise, Scott. Well, thank you both again, and I hope you enjoy my performance later.
Oh, we are certainly, ladies and gentlemen, Anastasia. I know now, Feneri. Is that correct?
Feneri.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. Please thank Anastasia Feneri. Thank you so much, darling.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Anastasia.
Hey guys, you're watching Tuesday Night Live, and we will be right back after this brief message. See you soon.
Beautiful! It's all finished now. Doesn't matter. A couple of guys, look at this. We got this beautiful Greek village salad. I'm going to put the dressing on top of him. There's the way, beautiful. You know, toast that before I serve it to Scott and Cheryl. We got here right now, we got the Scodalia. That's it here. And we dip this one in there. That is beautiful. And we got here, that is the souvlaki. That is pork marinated. And I did it on the grill. And we put it all together. And it is magnificent. So anyway, I know you've been watching me tonight. You've been looking. But I love it. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I bring Scott and Cheryl. I enjoy this, hopefully. And I like to say, I like to meet you. It's lovely to be in Australia. I'm going to have a nice nip of this Greek ouzo for you. Cheers. Beautiful, doesn't matter.
Hey guys, you're watching Tuesday Night Live. We will rule this out debut.
I like that. That's good.
That down in the.
That's part of the blooper reel. Yay, Christmas blooper.
Oh, far out.
Beautiful. That was sensational, Con. Doesn't matter. Good luck to your family. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, forget about that. I just want to say that you're in for a treat now, because many people have done this song around the world. They've done their own cover version, but now we've got the very talented Anastasia Feneri that you've heard talking earlier on, doing her own jazz version. Oops, I Did It Again.
Oh, baby, baby, it might seem like a crush, but it doesn't mean that I'm serious. 'Cause to lose all my senses, that is just so typically me. Oh, baby, baby, oops, I did it again. I played with your heart, got lost in the game. Oh, baby, baby, oops, you think I'm in love, that I'm sent from above. I'm not that innocent. Ooh. You see, my problem is this: I'm dreaming away, wishing that heroes they truly exist. I cry watching the days. Can't you see I'm a fool in so many ways? 'Cause to lose all my senses, that is just so typically me. Oh, baby, baby, oops, I did it again. I played with your heart, got lost in the game. Oh, baby, baby, oops, you think I'm in love, that I'm sent from above. I'm not that innocent. Oops, I did it again. I played with your heart, got lost in the game. Oh, baby, baby, oops, you think I'm in love, that I'm sent from above. I'm not that. Oops, I did it again. I played with your heart, got lost in the game. Oh, baby, oops, you think I'm in love, that I'm sent from above. I'm not that innocent.
Well, what can we say about this next fella? Not a lot. That's it. No, I'm kidding, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, we've known this young fella, and I say that with gritted teeth, young fella, because after all these bloody years, he doesn't have a grey hair, and he's still looking as young as he bloody did. And Scott and I look like his bloody grandfathers, but that's beside the point. No grudges hold. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome the amazing Steve Jacobs?
Hello there, guys. How are you?
Hey, mate, how are you?
Steve.
I am fantastic. It's so good to see you guys and hear that you're still breathing for a start. Like that is that is amazing. Scotty, you must be what, 372 now?
Of course I am. But you know what? You want to see my coronavirus mask?
What's...
That's it.
That's the game editor, isn't it?
I love that you've never actually grown up. You know, Scotty, you're one of the first people I remember as a kid. We were at the bowling alley when I was probably about 5 years old with my brother Dan, who you were good mates with, and you did a magic trick for me. I don't know whether you remember, but I think you had a coin, and it was that one where you'd like take it out of your hand and it's disappeared. That has stuck in my memory from the age of 5, and I think that's probably one of the first things ever that made me want to be part of the entertainment industry. So it's your bloody fault.
Oh, well, we'll take that question off the list. Why did you want to be any of the time?
Because I wanted to be just like you.
Well, I think what just blew me away with what you said there, Steve, was the fact that you were 5 years old and Scott was still an old man then. So this is insane. Anyway, mate, listen, welcome to the show. Now, as you can see, we don't have many questions for you, so that's just as well. But and I wrote them down because because I'm old and crusty, I have to write them down so I remember. So, mate. Look, where do we begin? you've got a huge list of credits to your name from being the very funny, entertaining weather guy on Channel 9's Today Show, a radio presenter and currently on Radio 2GB, special guest on 2UE, and being an actor on the TV series God Bless His Soul, John English altogether now. How did it start? And did you always want to be in show business? As you said earlier, of course, that you said it all started with an old man showing you a magic trick.
Not wrong. That sounds so wrong, doesn't it?
So how did it start for you, mate?
Well, look, I think Scotty was wearing a trench coat at the time,
and he had a van,
and he was like, "Let me make something disappear." And that really was like one of my first inspirations. That's when I was about 5. And then at around about 6 years of age, I think I appeared on the cover of the Illawarra Mercury because my dad was like knocking down a house or something. And they got a photo of me carrying these bricks. And it was kind of like, I went from Scott to the front page of the Mercury. I'm like, this is a universe sending me a sign. I need to be in this industry. And so when I got a little bit older, I started taking acting lessons in Wollongong and did a few stage shows and a couple of musicals style. And my brother was a singer. He was always singing. We're always laughing around the house. I think that's why Scott and my brother and our family got on so well, because we had the same sort of sense of humor. And then, now what happened? Oh, that's right. My dad used to be the compere of the Dutch Club, the Illawarra Dutch Club, which was out in Woonona.
Yeah.
And one year he asked me to get up on stage with him and do some comedy sketches. And I was probably about, 12 years old or 14 years old. Anyway, there was somebody in the audience whose, I think, brother-in-law was an executive producer at Win TV and just happened to call him saying, we're looking for young kids to do this new show, a pilot for this new show. And he said, we had this kid up on the stage the other day at the Christmas pantomime with his dad. You should give him a call. And so I got this random call from an executive producer at Win TV and said, look, we're looking for kids. Somebody's passed on your name. Would you like to come in and audition? And so it was just kind of totally out of the blue. It was like those supermodels being discovered in a supermarket.
That's insane.
Yeah, because I'm not a supermodel. But I did this kids show there at Win TV, and we did a whole pilot series, and they ended up scrapping it because there were a whole heap of kids, and a lot of the kids couldn't actually get their lines right. But I guess because I'd always grown up in that sort of family, it just kind of came naturally to me. So a few years later, I got a call back saying, look, we're doing another show, which is called Kids News, and we'd like you to come and audition to be the host. So I went and did the audition, and it all went really well. And it turns out the executive producer of that show was a Dutch woman. And, my parents were Dutch. And so we all hit it off famously, all these cloggies, like, blonde hair and blue eyes and all chatting to each other. And my dad was, big personality, and they were all talking in Dutch. And so she said, I'd love you to host the show. And that's how it all started, really, at Win TV, just from getting on stage with my dad at the Dutch Club.
That's insane. Look, I'm going to take you because you still fondly love Wollongong. So what have I got behind me?
Well, you know what? Some people say that the icon of Wollongong is the lighthouse, which is behind you. Some say that it's the blowhole in Kiama, but we all know it's the Taraji hump, don't we? Like, that's what Wollongong is most famous for.
You mean a hump Taraji hump?
That is the one.
Well, funny you should say that, because we had something planned for. We were going to talk about that later, but Steve, I don't know if Joe can bring it up, but have a look at this, Steve.
Would you believe that the Illawarra region's most famous landmark isn't the Wollongong Lighthouse, nor is it the Kiama Blowhole? It isn't even the picturesque Port Kembla Steelworks. No, according to well-travelled musical entertainers, the Four Kinsmen, it's the infamous Taraji Hump.
Isn't that amazing?
I just love the intro. The picturesque steelworks, in all their glory, spewing out all sorts of strontium showers and acid rain, sitting beautifully in the background of Wollongong. I don't even know how that story came up. I think because we were doing this kids show, Kids News, and we only had a camera in the afternoons. We had to use a news camera from 3 till 7 and make a half-hour show every week. all out of local stories from Wollongong. So we were constantly searching. And I think when it got to a point where we really needed to stretch for material, we'd probably start to make stories up ourselves. And then somehow you guys were in the picture at the time, and you guys were touring and slaying things in the Four Kinsmen. And I think we went, well, we need someone who can bring this story to life. And you guys were the obvious choice. And the weird thing is that story keeps coming up. Like every couple of years, it comes up on my Facebook, or somebody sends it to me over email or Instagram, and it's just going to haunt us for the rest of our lives. And the song that you made up, and I particularly loved, and Rob, by the way, you look absolutely no different at all to what you did in that video from probably 1980 something or other. And Scott, you still look like a mad scientist, only it's real now. You were dressed up in the story.
Why is it so?
Karen, my ask,
Now, Scotty, we were talking about this before, Steve. When you were doing the weather, Scott was talking to me before about your love for animals and the weather. What was the question you were going to ask, Scotty?
Look, Steve, watching you over the years, you're one of the funniest guys on television, and you never know what you're going to do, and you've got this love-hate relationship with animals. So I've just got to ask you about that, because you got pelicans that attack you, you've got gorillas, you're dressed as a pink gorilla at the zoo, and you're behind plate glass, and the gorilla comes and bashes on it, and you fell down. You've got a seal that spat in your ear. Are you the new Dr. Dolittle, or is it Steve Jacobs' secret aftershave?
I don't know what it is, but live TV is just wonderful, and I love it. It has the same anticipation of crossing the Taraji hump. Every morning, you just don't know what's going to happen. And they say don't work with children and kids. Well, we did that every morning. So over the years, there were things that were obviously going to go wrong. And that's when, sometimes the best TV actually happens. And I don't know if it was my aftershave or what it was, but it always seemed to happen when we were live on TV. We'd be there for like 5 or 10 minutes getting prepared. Nothing would happen. As soon as the cameras would roll, bang, these animals would go absolutely crazy. So, I had the pelican stick its beak right up like where the sun don't shine. Well, I'm bailed up against a wall, and that went viral, and I ended up getting flown to Los Angeles to do the Jay Leno show because Jay Leno got a hold of it. Yeah, it was bizarre. Like, it went massive. And then even bigger than that, I got attacked by a giant black cockerel. And it just went absolutely mental on me, like live on camera. And I just ran off screaming. Well, that went so viral that Ellen DeGeneres opened her show with it last year. And I was on the phone to like media outlets all around the world. It was actually voted in America as the funniest video on the internet under 10 seconds. And what was even funnier was that one of the newspapers, I think it was I can't even remember which one, maybe the Telegraph or someone, but on their online story, the headline was, "Stephen Jacobs runs screaming from big black cock. I kid you not." Kids, do not Google that.
No, please do not. No, especially not in that term. Oh, that's amazing, mate. Mate. Now, we felt like, apart from everything that you've, everything that you've done, we found out that you were actually a comedy writer in Melbourne Tonight. Is that right?
No, I was one of the hosts on In Melbourne Tonight.
Oh, okay.
So I did that for it was probably 2 or 3 years. So I moved to Melbourne from Wollongong in 91, I think it was. Mm-hmm. So I went and auditioned for a show in Sydney, All Together Now, which you may remember in the 90s with Rebecca Gibney and
yes, that was a great show.
That's with John English and Bruno Lucia, Gary Hu. Yeah, look, Steve, we've got this segment, that we pulled out a few weeks ago, and it really surprised the Red Wiggle from Simon Price from the Wiggles. It's called A Blast from the Past. Watch this.
Oh, come on, Chicky Pie, we'll just get to the good bit.
Steve Jacobs, Bruno Lucia here. Where are you? How are you? What the bloody hell's going on, mate? You got your mask on? I haven't got my mask on, of course, because I'm in Adelaide. That's right. You know that place where you set your clocks back half an hour to 1967. But we'll be wearing masks soon, I presume. But anyway, I hope you're keeping well. I've got to go to the acupuncturist, so I've got to get going now. That's right. Got to go get a prick from a prick. And take care, mate. Speak soon. All right? Ciao. Stay beautiful.
Oh, wow. That is amazing. I haven't seen Bruno for, God, I don't know, maybe 20 years or something like that. And he hasn't changed at all. And that was his signature send-off, you know, stay beautiful. And that guy is a legend. He's a great actor. One thing you probably don't know, one of the best guitarists that I've ever seen. He is amazing.
Steve,
I'll
mate,
be
listen.
in 2 seconds before we go. I want to show something to Steve. Keep talking.
Keep him talking. You're going to show him something. Now, Scotty, before you go, remember this is a family-friendly show. He's not going to take his pants off. Oh,
he's probably got
here we go.
The trench coat on again, I suppose.
Hang on, no, he's going to.
Hey,
Oh, here we go. This is his magic thing. He wants to show you.
Look. Okay, I influenced you when I was 5 years old. Now, all right, this is live, completely live.
Are you going to do pole dancing?
My silk scarf. It's real, yeah. All right, you
Hang
ready?
on, how's that pole moving?
With my feet. Now watch this. All right?
Right.
I'll take it out here. 1, 2, 3.
Wow, that's impressive.
All right. What? All right. 1, 2, 3.
So
How
how
do
does
you
he
do
do it? Who
Why
knows?
so?
Wow. And all these years later, it was that idiot who inspired me to get into the industry.
Yes, it's his fault. It's his bloody fault. Steve, mate, thank you. Please stick around. But thank you so much for coming, mate, talking with us. I know you're a very busy man, and we can't thank you enough, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure to see you again, even if you still look as young as you bloody did. But that's beside the point, mate. Mate, thank you again for coming on.
Mate, it is always a pleasure, especially with such old friends like you, and I emphasize old. But you know, always been big fans of you guys, always will be, and love you.
I love you too, mate. Thank you so much.
All right.
You're welcome.
Steve.
Okay, guys, remember? 1, 2, 3. A hump, a hump,
Oh, look, Steve is one of the greatest talents in Australia. He's so funny, and the stuff that he's done doing the weather over the years and what he's going to do in the future, I can't wait to watch his career. But anyway, haven't we been blessed, Rob, with the talent that we've had on tonight, Tuesday Night Live with Rob and Scott? We've had, not only have we had Steve Jacobs, we've had the very talented Anastasia Feneri, and a great mate of yours, and now he's hopefully a great mate of mine, Nathan Foley. And you've got something to say about Nathan Foley, haven't you, Robbie?
I certainly have, mate. Yes, I agree with you. It has been a terrific evening, wonderful guests, and every time we do this show, the guests have just been phenomenal. Nathan Foley released a new single called She Devil, which is on his anticipated upcoming album, Hurricane. It's a great song, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye, everybody. Take care. Scotty, look after yourself. Stay out of trouble, and we'll see you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Foley, She Devil. Bye-bye.
See you, Rob.
Tuesday Night Live is recorded in front of a 1952 audience. I believe they would have enjoyed it. When in Canberra, both Rob and Scott choose to travel through it without stopping. Scott is dressed by his beautiful wife from clothes found in any good second-hand shop. Rob finds his clothes wherever he can. Tuesday Night Live is brought to you by nobody, as nobody has the money. This has been a TFK production. Joseph McGrail Baitup speaking.